Hi, welcome to LiTup Winter Session 1. What we're going to begin with today is a review about what we know about nature. So in the winter, I like to reconnect with this concept of aligning with the seasons and recognizing the power of four. So there are a lot of things that are this beautiful division of four, whether it's the directions or the elements or the seasons. But what I want to connect with as we move into winter is connecting with this idea of four as it relates to the time of day. So I often have people ask me during classes, like, what if I'm in a different season? What if I'm in a different part of the world? And really what I'm doing with LiTup is connecting to the solstice or equinox dates. And then I'm aligning those in a sense with the patterns we experience in nature at those times. And I'm relative to my environment. So I'm in Utah, and Utah has four perfect, almost absolutely perfect seasons. We have a winter, we have a spring, we have a summer, and we have a fall, and they're all very definitive. Now, where you are may not be the same. So one of the things I do like to do is relate it to the time of day so that we can connect again with what it looks like to experience the season. So as we're moving into winter, what we're moving into at this point is the time after sunset. So we're really moving into the time of day when we're entering the dark. So winter is the dark season. And a lot of times we tend to think of entering the dark as a bad thing. We think of it as maybe ignorance or fear or this blinding period where we really can't see what's in front of us. And that's true. And a lot of what I hope to open up in the idea of LiTup is that it is dark. Winter is dark. We can't see. We don't know what's happening next, but this isn't necessarily a bad thing. So when the sun is set, this is the time where we get to go into the world known as illusion, where we can't quite tell what the objects are in the room with us. We don't know who or what will be tomorrow. We don't know what our next day will hold. And we don't know the full potential of who we can be, even though we expect to know, even though we expect ourselves to be the same person from one day to the next. As we come to the end of each day, we have this beautiful opportunity to rewrite who we are and to activate different subconscious mechanisms that will drive the tomorrow we will experience. And so this time of year, what we're doing is we are going into the cave. It's that concept of the bear going into the cave or being in the cocoon or entering that time to rest. So we're at that season where the trees have released their leaves, this brilliant, beautiful display of who they are. And they're now deepening their connection to the earth. So the trees have all these beautiful roots going deeper. They've pulled all this chlorophyll back into the roots and are going into this more passive state, this state that's less active, to regain their strength and to deepen their connection to the earth. So this is the time where we're doing the same. We're emptying our cup and we're moving into our cave. So what we're going to do in this first session of winter in LiTup is the first thing we're going to be doing is lovingly releasing the story we have lived. We're going to be letting go of everything so we can open ourselves up to the new seed fall has planted for us. We're going to let that seed sink deep into the soil of who we are. So we're going to be doing a final release of everything we can. It's a time to just let it all go and go into a place of deep contemplation. So as we do this, we're going to have a pretty consistent focus. We're going to be focusing on this idea of retreating to the core, because we've been full. Fall season is all about that harvest, that fullness, the bounty, and now it's time to move into being empty. We've shed our leaves, we've shed our fruit, and now is the empty time. So through winter, we're going to be doing a lot of practices that are meditation practices. So a lot of our homework is going to be meditation and then contemplation questions. So as we move into that, we are going to empty ourselves of the past. It's a process I call releasing the story we've lived. And as we do that, we are going to figure out the things that we still want to hold on to. And we're going to figure out the things that we're ready to let go. And as we do this, we're going to awaken all these new possibilities. So without focusing on the possibility, because we can't possibly know what tomorrow holds, we're going to feel the release of things. And that's going to tell us things about ourselves that we won't even fully understand until spring comes. So as we move into these practices this season, we're going to start with a deep meditation practice. So digging into this next exercise, prepare yourself to have quiet time, to have time of deep reflection, to be with yourself where you are in that betwixt and between space, that space of emptiness. And I'm going to supply meditation practices that will help you sink into that emptiness. And then as we move deeper into winter, we're going to talk about a lot of different subjects that are about that. We're going to talk about polarity, and we're going to talk about oneness, and we're going to talk about cause and effect, and we're going to talk about movement of our seed and the depth of the core of our being. We're going to get a lot into the conversation of essence and then expressing our essence. So winter is a really beautiful time to find a new and deepened connection with our own being. And that's where our focus is going to be. So we're not trying to do, as the new year comes upon us, as we go through New Year's Eve, we may resolve to make changes, but we're not going to act on those changes. We're not going to try and go into movement. We're just going to settle ourselves in the place of knowing we want change, but not knowing exactly what that change might fully reveal. Because if we already know, we've already lived it at some level, it's so much more exciting for the brain to make a new discovery. So that's going to be our goal for this next couple weeks. We will be digging into some meditations. I will be walking you through some meditation questions, and then you're going to have every time to contemplate those, to answer some meditation questions, and then you'll have the daily inspirations to keep you in that deepening focus of returning to the silence, of returning to the cave, to the release, to the emptiness. And through this process, you're going to reach such deep levels of your being. You're going to be organically inspired by who you are. So let's go ahead and begin with exercise 1. It's a meditation I call the wall. And in this meditation, we will be doing a final release. We'll be really letting go of who we've been and open up to the possibility of who we could be. So let's go ahead and jump into that meditation now. I look forward to taking this winter journey with you. Imagine before you a beautiful wall. This wall may be anywhere. It may be inside or outside. It might be made of brick or concrete or wood. However you see the wall is perfect for you. Just allow yourself to see a wall. Allow yourself to be aware of where you are right now. What is the environment like around you? What time of day is it? Is it bright where you are? Are you under a darkened sky or maybe inside of a building? Wherever you are is perfect. As you look upon the wall, a collage painting of your life slowly begins to form. There are impressions of your childhood, your birth and infancy. There are images of your toddler years, crawling, walking, learning to run. You see pictures of what we often call the formative years and preteens. Imagine yourself at 5 or 6, 7, and so on. There are events as a teenager, 13, 14, 15 or 16. You see images of being a young adult. Might be 18 or 19. There are stories of your work and your play, of your friends and family. There is every good thing in your life, and maybe even some of the things which you would not call your good. But they are all your story. They're what has been your history. Take your time to really notice what's revealed itself before you. If you'd like, you can walk up and touch the canvas. You can walk from one end to the other or take it all in as a whole. But do not rush. Allow yourself to really see it. Some of you may not see images. You may see colors, or you may hear sounds, or have feelings, or any number of experiences. Each person experiences vision differently. So whether it's just the idea of a wall you have in your mind, or you visually see the image, just allow it to come to you in the way it comes. This is your soul speaking. Take time to listen. Whether the feelings you have surprise you, or if they are familiar or even expected, be willing to sit in each. Feel each level of the experience as it arises. Let yourself sit for a moment without analysis or judgment. Just noticing what stands out. Do you see certain patterns, connected ideas, or experiences on the wall? I'm going to fall silent for a moment and allow you the opportunity to just really take a minute to see what's in front of you. Don't need to do any writing at this point yet. Just allow yourself to notice what's on the wall. Sometimes when reviewing our life, we experience different levels of emotion. We can be happy or sad. We can experience judgment, or we might be able to observe it in complete peace. Your feelings may be broad. You may experience a lot of different emotions as you look at the wall, or it may be just a few. But allow yourself to connect with the feelings you have right now. Don't think about how it felt to be there. Think about how you feel now, looking back at who you've been and what you've experienced. You can stay in the contemplation of the first part of this meditation for as long as you like. You can decide to have a couple days here or even the whole week. As soon as you're done with the answers to the quiz, the second part of the meditation will be available, but don't expect yourself to rush into it. If you feel ready, you can go ahead with that part of the meditation and then spend more time in the contemplation of that shift. But give yourself the time you need here to reflect on your life and to answer the quiz questions in a way that moves you most. Good luck, and remember to enjoy the journey. Even the most difficult parts, allow yourself to connect with them and know that they are part of your transformation.